Huh. Look at that. That is one popular light post. Don't think they're all going to get on the bus, though. Yeah, I think we're going to have to fix this. And welcome everybody back to City Skylines with Splatt here in the city of Odyssey. In our last episode, we spent some time working on a new residential area and putting in a cargo hub for our trains. And today, I think it's time we started looking at some of our public transportation options. As you can see here and what we're looking at right now, there are a lot of people waiting for buses. And believe it or not, this bus line that I have running has 30 buses on it, and we just cannot keep up with the demand. So that means we're going to have to do something differently. So I think the plan is that over here in this part of the city, right here next to the highway, in this little zone right there, what I'm thinking it's time to do is to actually put in a mass transit hub type environment. I'm thinking we're going to put a bus metro combination station in here, and we're going to run a metro line underground around our city to supply transportation to some of the major important spots. I'd like for the metro to serve the university up here, so it's going to come up here somewhere. The metro is going to also hit the north side of this low-density residential suburban area that we put in last episode, and it's also going to come down here and it's going to serve the south side. It's going to connect to a hub here. It's going to come down and it's going to bring people down to this part of town because we're eventually going to be developing down here. We're probably going to go underneath this little mountain. We're going to come over here and service the industry area so people can get to work and get back. We're going to put at least one, if not two, metro stops into our tourism and shopping district that we built a few episodes back here on the waterfront. And then we're going to bring it back around and we're going to have a stop that serves the lower part of the high density residential and the upper part of the high density residential. And the idea being that hopefully it will reduce the number of buses that I'm required to use in my city because it's actually getting kind of crazy trying to fit them all in. So I've got a bus line set up that goes from, so we have this tram line that goes around this small little part of the city. And this tram line has a lot of different bus stops that meet nearby the tram stops where people can change from tram to bus to trams, and they can change which buses they want. And we're kind of doing a little interchange here on this street. But the problem is because there's so many buses, I've really had to do some funny stuff with bus lanes and overpasses and walking ways and like just trying to make enough space for all the buses to get in. As you can see, buses are actually backing up. And at times it causes some traffic issues. So what I want to do is try to move all that transfer stuff away from the middle part of the city and into its own area while still servicing this area with stops and things like that. So I think to get cracking on this, the first thing we're going to have to do is prepare this area over here. So let's pause the game so we don't mess anything up. And I've got the biofuel bus depot and I've got a police station here. These are in the way, so we're just going to move these out of the way for now. From this intersection right here, I'm planning on bringing a road, just a plain old boring 2-lane road. And we're just going to come straight up here. And then I think we're going to do like a little access road type thing off the side of this, all the way over like that. And then if we look in our public transportation tab, we have over here in the public transportation hubs section, there is a bus metro hub. So this allows you to bring buses in to connect and make their stop and drop people off, and then people can move on to the metro from there. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in right there. And we're going to wrap a road around this metro station just so we can bring the buses in. Grab our move it mod, do a little scoochy. All right, we are scoochied. And now we have this bus station. So each of these little bays right here, we're going to be able to bring a bus line in to stop here and then go on our merry way. I may bring this 2-lane road here underneath the overpass and connect it up here just to give the buses a little bit more of a path through here, but I don't plan on every single bus route going into this hub. We're still going to have bus routes that serve loops just inside particular districts. And then we're going to have like connecting stops that people can get off and move to a different bus and come over here to the hub if they need to catch the metro, and vice versa. If we look underground, if I grab my metro, grab my tracks, and I click on the tunnel button, you can see that we have 2 metro paths here. So I'm thinking we're going to have a lower loop and we're going to have an upper loop for my city, and we're going to connect those in like that. So let's go ahead and figure out first where we want to put the different stops. So this one that's going up and down, I think I'm going to have that one serve the lower part of the city. So I want to have a rail that comes off the bottom here. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. And I want to bring it down to down here where the power plants are, just to serve this part of the town. I want to come over, serve the area over here where the industry is. People can go to work. We're going to bring it up here into our shopping and tourism area. And then we're going to bring it around and maybe just put a stop in this major intersection area just to give people another connecting point. And then bring it back down into the metro. The other one is going to connect here. It's going to go out. It's going to go around into the high density area. It's going to go up to the university. It's going to hit the top of this. It's going to hit the bottom of this. It's going to connect in back here. As the city grows, we're probably going to take these out and move them around, but this is what's going to happen for now. So let's go ahead and start sticking in our stations for the metro. So I need to have one down here that's servicing this part of town. And probably the easiest way to do it is just to stick one in the core intersection right there. And that's going to allow the train to come in, and it comes over here and it can curve around. It's going to go underneath the mountain. And then we're going to have a connection for people who want to go to work. This is all commercial right here, so I'm not really worried about putting one of these in like that. It's not going to make too many people unhappy, but we'll put a station in right there. Then we're going to bring it up here to the tourism area, and we need to have a couple of different stops. So I want to have a stop where people can get off and be on this road, though to be honest, we could just connect these with, we should be connecting these with some walking paths. But I want to bring one down here. So I've got this little green building right, what is this thing? This is a frozen drink stand and souvenirs. Well, I'm so sorry, sir, but your souvenir stand is going to go for the greater good. And we're going to put a stop in there. We're going to bring one over here, just outside of the parking lot. And some of our rocks are going to go away, but that's all right. We're going to put another one there. And then I wanted to have a stop over here by this intersection just so people can get in and out easier as well. So we're going to put one in there, and that then is going to result in, do I want to put one up here? No, that's going to curve down and connect there. So let's grab our rails and let's start curving these puppies in and connecting them to where they need to go. Is it realistic that I'm taking a metro underneath people's homes? No, it's not, but I have found that when you try to follow the road with the metro in this game, I don't know why, but I have the hardest time getting it to actually connect up. It's really, really weird the way it works. We're gonna grab that, we're gonna pull that in a little bit, we're gonna curve that out a little bit. There we go. All right, back to what we were doing. And that should help. We have the tram in the center, and we're going to have the buses. So the fact that the metro does not serve the center of town, I don't think is going to be a problem. We'll see how it goes. But I think for the most part, that's going to work out quite well. All right, so now we're going to put one in up here. Let's figure out where we want to put. Okay, I said I wanted to have one that serviced the lower part of the city. I do not want to put a metro in the middle of this nice low density suburban residential area that I put in. We're going to have buses that are going to serve that just fine. So I think what the plan is we can put because of the way that slopes, I'm not going to be able to put a metro down here. Well, I could put one right there, actually. People will cross the road. That would allow me to hook in up there. So we'll put one there. We're going to put one here. And then this is going to curve up to grab at the university. And for the university is on a hill sloping. So I don't think I'm going to be able to really put one. Yeah, probably about right there is about the only place I'm going to be able to put a metro stop. So we'll bring that one up, curve it around, bring it down here. And then we're going to service the high density residential area. And I think some of these little areas here where the zoning kind of got screwed up and so these little tiny houses moved in, I think these are going to be where I want to put them. That's going to come down and swoop through here. Good. And then we're going to have another one. Okay, so I need to ring around the rosy back to here. So we're going to have one in this area. Like this, maybe? Where do I want to put this thing? Okay, I have to bring it down. Just don't want to make my turns too hard for myself. It's gonna be noisy, but when you live in an area like that, that's just the way it works. And then to finish off, that should be fine. All right, let's try putting this in. And that should service our city. So let's start putting in some stops. All right, so which one? So I'm going to start here. We're going to go up here. And we're going to go up here. We're going to go up here. And we're going to go down here. We're going to connect all these together. So I will put these lines in and get back to you guys. There we go. So I got Lower City 1 and Lower City 2, which are serving this loop down here. And I have Upper City 1 and I have Upper City 2, which are serving this loop up here. So let's just go ahead and let these run for a little while and see if people begin using the metro. Well, all right, look at that. We have got good usage of all of our lines. If you take a look at the different ones that we got, a lot of people are making use of the Lower City 1, which is nice. This one's pretty popular with this stop down here being okay, so people are making good use of that one. The upper line is being put to good use with pretty good balance all the way around. And the other upper city is also being put to good use with. Okay, so it looks like this is going to help alleviate some of the traffic and bus pressure of our city. In fact, I want to go back and look at that university line and see if we are still just completely swamped like we were before. Look at that. We are no longer completely overloading our buses on the university line. So much so that I think we can bring these down and reduce the number of buses that are servicing this line. In fact, I'm going to cut it in half back to 15, and we're going to see what happens if those bus stops continue to get super full, but I think that we're going to be okay. And that was what I was hoping to do, because that bus line right there serves a lot of people and it was getting really full really fast. So I'm pretty happy with what we've got going on there. The next thing we're going to have to do is rework all of the bus lines so that they begin to pull people into the transfer area, which means I'm going to have to set up a bus line. We already have a bus route that kind of squiggles through this new area we put in, but I'm going to put a ring in here. I'm going to put a ring of buses in Homer Central. I'm going to put a ring of buses. Well, we've already got the tram that services Nausicaa Field, and so I'm going to bring a ring of buses that goes around Ithaca Park and comes over here to Briarwood, where we have our industry, and there's going to be a bus line that will connect all of these things to the terminal here in the middle. So that way, if people want to take the metro, they can, and if they want to take a metro and then get on a bus and go somewhere specific, they can do that too. And I think that's what we're going to be working on next. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to take this district by district, and I want to add a ring that services this district specifically because it only has metro stations on the outside edge of the district. I don't want to put a metro in the middle, and so I'm just going to put in a bus line that serves this and kind of connects these two stations together and just lets people get around in here. And this one is not going to connect all the way down here to our hub that we've put in down at the bottom. This one is only going to be kind of an inside the district ring. And it's going to connect later. There's going to be another bus stop that people can hop onto that will take them down to the interchange if they want to go there. But my thinking is this line is basically going to take people from this district and serve them over to the metro lines to get where they need to go. So to start with, I'm just going to create a new line, and we are just going to go to town here. We're going to put one there. So that one is just going to serve this area inside here. People can go from the top to the bottom easily. They can get to school. They can get back from school. In fact, I'm going to actually add a stop right in front of the high school. All right, so that's the first one that we're going to do. And we're going to call this one Suburban Circle. It's going to be a biofuel bus, and it's just going to start at the top with the red color. All right, it is time to make another line. So now I want a line that is going to serve this area here and connect these two metro stations. And we're just going to create a little loop around this area. Just like that. And that is just going to be a loop that goes around and around and around that part of the city. Nice. Now I want to do a circuit that serves the tourism area and this neighborhood here. And so to do that, we're going to create some stops along this main road. And there we go. And that one is going to serve that little neighborhood and the touristy area there. Now I need a bus line that goes into this area down here because this one already has a tram line ring. So we're going to make a bus line that just covers this neighborhood section right here. And I think I'm just going to make this one a little bit longer bus line and just have it cover just this whole lower part of the city. Originally, we had like an upper half and a lower half, but that's not what I want to do. Beautiful. And now we need to have a feeder system that goes into our hub. Well, all right, I have let this run for a little while, and it looks like people are making good use of the public transportation that we've put in. Our metro, as you can see here, is quite busy. Look at all the little happy travelers crossing over to the other line, going back and forth. And if we take a look at our bus routes, they are getting quite a bit of use. Nearly as many people on the buses as we have on the metro. And if we take a look at the details, you can see that we have gotten pretty good usage out of our two citywide lines, and then the lower city one is being used quite a bit. The high density section and the suburban and tourist area sections are getting moderate use, but I was able to cut back on the number of vehicles that they have, so that's not really causing us any problems. And everybody who uses those buses is going to be cutting back on traffic, so I don't mind that at all. It looks like when we come in here that there are a couple of spots that are just super full, and I do not know what I'm going to be able to do about that at the moment, but you can see here there's just so many people wanting to use these buses to get where they need to go, so I'm going to have to take a look at that, maybe figure out where they're going and see if I can provide some kind of other alternative for them. And on Citywide 1, we have another one that's got 100 people waiting at it, and that's this one over here, which is right next to the shopping mall, and that's that one there. I mean, the buses are coming, they are loading in, and they are getting on, and they are getting off, so maybe I just won't worry about it too much for now. But I think that that is going to solve most of our problems with our public transportation to this point. And we've got our bus interchange put in, and there's one last thing I wanted to do. I wanted to start encouraging tourists to come to our city from other places. And so if we look in the public transportation tab, we also have in the bus section an inner city bus station. And this is a bus station where people can come into my city from outside. And I think what I'm going to do is just drop one of these in. I think I'm going to put it here so that when they get out, they can just go directly to the metro and all should be good. I'm sure there's a better way to do this than to have these two buildings like so close to each other. I probably could just use one of these, but I am still learning some of the mechanics of the game, and so I'm just going to do that and hope that we are able to get some more tourists into our city. So hopefully the inner city buses will come in here, they'll get off, and they can either go to the metro or they can catch a city bus into town and hook up with one of the buses there. Now that we've got this whole section in, I think it'd be kind of nice to do a little bit of detailing and give it some parking and things like that. So that is what I'm going to do. This little spot right here has a police station in it. I'm going to actually move this police station over just to get it out of the way. Maybe we'll just move it across the street. And I think what I want to do is this area right by the bus stops, I want to turn into a parking lot. So let's do that. I think that looks pretty nice. We've got ourselves quite the little hub here. So over here we got our parking for anybody who wants to take a bus trip. We've got our inner city bus station here for all the people that want to visit from inside or outside the city. And we have our hub here for metro and bus lines within the city. We've got our depot in case we ever need more buses, and we have our tram depot over here. I think this little area here is going to work very nicely for us, and hopefully as it goes on, we're going to be seeing more tourists come in, and we're going to see people getting around our city in a much easier way. Well, thank you everybody for watching as we upgraded the transportation around the city of Odyssey today. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Give me a like. It lets me know that you all enjoy the content and helps encourage me to continue making more. If you have any suggestions, if you have anything you'd like to see me do to the city of Odyssey, if I made any mistakes and you think I need to correct something, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I know I'm not perfect, and I'm always open to hearing more suggestions and constructive criticism. Thank you all for joining me, and that's all the time I've got for today, so until next time, see you guys around.